but that door was closed. The liquor license transfer had finally made it past the eagle-eyed bureaucrats of the Liquor Control Board. But where was the file? She pushed back her chair. Carla would know. "I'm sorry, Miss Keller is on a deadline," she heard her secretary say. "If you'd like to make an appointment." Both Carla and the visitor turned their heads at her approach. Lindsay took in the man's worn, brown Carhartts flecked with drywall mud, the hammer loop stretched from use, the dusty tan work boots. "A man who worked an honest day," her father would have said. But what was his name? She stepped forward, the name bubbling up as she held out her hand. "Trevor, nice to see you. What can I do for you?" "You remember that house we bought on a tax sale? You put all the details together," the man said. "The one we moved to a vacant lot over on North 24th. They were made for the Home and Garden channel, Trevor Morris and his business partner. Two young, hunky guys who bought up houses sinking halfway into the earth and turned them into charmers. She nodded and he went on. "A bunch of old wooden crates were stashed in the basement. We hauled them to our shop, but one got mixed in with our stuff. Cracked it open the other day and found this." He reached into a pocket and pulled out a black leather wallet. "It's got a guy's ID and a photo, some cash, and a couple of cards." "Cash? That's strange. Just drop it off at the police station." "I meant to, but we're racing the bank's clock on this job. So when I drove by your office and a parking spot opened up, I figured you'd know how to handle it." "Sure," Lindsay said. "Carla can drop it off. No charge." He handed her the wallet and she thumbed it open, the dust coating her fingers. From behind the plastic window, next to a gold medal the size of a nickel, a face stared at her. Stared through the clouded film, through the years, and right into her gut. "We've got our eyes on an old warehouse down on 2nd, Morris was saying. "Any luck, we'll make an offer in a week or so, soon as we get the specs on the structural steel. I'll call you about the contracts." "Good. Yes, do that," she replied. He closed the heavy oak door behind him, satisfied with himself, his problem solved. She could feel Carla watching her as she studied the face of a man she had admired, even loved. The man who had set her drive for justice in gear, whose disappearance and presumed murder still cast a shadow over the Magic City. Her fingers wrapped around the dry leather and snapped the wallet shut. Tuesday, September 19th, 1972, Western Montana. The only sound in the car was Tony's heartbeat. No radio signal could penetrate these mountains, the woods so thick the road appeared to be carved through the trees. Tony liked the silence. He glanced at his watch, the large white face with its metallic green glow reflecting the last of the daylight. Any minute now. A semi sped north, its trailer painted with the red and green Consolidated Freightways logo. Cornflake. A few minutes later, the light blue Ford station wagon came into view, southbound, a man at the wheel, alone. Tony eased his old brown Plymouth onto the highway. Be careful. At dusk, suicidal deer could leap onto the road in the blink of an eye and ruin everyone's plans. If he did this right, that's what the highway patrol would think. He caught up with the station wagon exactly where he'd intended, hanging back so the driver didn't get suspicious. He confirmed the number 3 on the plates, Yellowstone County. All just as he'd been told. He followed the vehicle, letting the driver get nervous, waiting for the right moment. Now. He pulled close, too close, riding the man's bumper. The driver glanced in his mirror, eased up on the gas, slid toward the narrow shoulder in the universal signal to pass. But that wasn't Tony's plan. He bumped the wagon, then fell back, took a few breaths, sped up and